The establishing shot of the urban location immediately connotes the social class of the characters in the narrative, i.e., the working class, and depicts the stereotypical ideology that people in the working class live in these environments. In addition, our audience are keen in investigating these social issues. The establishing shot and second shot connotes the deprivation and isolation experienced by the protagonist, with panning connoting its far-reaching effects and severity of these experiences. The long shot of Ethan walking into the modern train station singles him out and connotes the stereotypical ideology that young people and their class are associated with crimes such as the usage of drugs. But our sophisticated primary audience would be less likely to accept this hegemonic viewpoint because they would actively question it. This is something we didn't really consider when producing our production, and therefore we could have had a better understanding of our audience and perhaps could have swapped our more passive secondary audience to be our primary, who could possibly gain more personal identity, being in a lower income bracket. This high-angle shot of Ethan shows his empowerment and connotes the dominant ideologies about today's youth. They see themselves as powerful, independent, and as a challenge to authority. In addition, this over-the-shoulder shot connotes his ability to detach himself from alcohol, while the oversaturated lighting connotes his fragmented relationship with his son and the inevitability of repairing it. This supports the stereotypical ideology that working-class people often have associations with drugs. This awkward medium-long shot of Ethan suggests a sense of discomfort and therefore connotes the austere relationship between him and his father. Also, with his back to the camera, it suggests how he does not fit in with the social class and feels marginalised from society. Therefore, this is a challenging representation that our sophisticated audience will appreciate. Furthermore, the very long shot of Ethan walking down the stairs connotes the ideologies of unity that unfortunately he is irrevocably excluded from. The absence of his face also suggests his neglect from his father, while reiterating how he has left his past and seeks for a new beginning. This challenges the stereotypical ideology that working-class people are perhaps weaker and lack an inner drive to succeed. The transition between the medium close-up of Ethan and the businessman suggests his vulnerability and the lower status Ethan has. The long shot of the man connotes his power and his busy life that is saturated by important problems. This connotes the stereotypical ideology that people in the higher class are only able to have a more authoritative status. The fact that he is a white male highlights the ongoing issues of gender equality and racism, despite the revolution of black people's contribution to society. The exploration of these wider social issues will appeal to our sophisticated audience. The absence of any fluidity from fades or dissolves emphasise the distance and broken relationship Ethan has with his family members. The use of flashbacks, for example, complicates the narrative timeline and subsequently caters for our sophisticated active target audience who enjoy a challenge. The tracking in on the parents arguing connotes how the situation is emotional and upsetting for Ethan, which contributes further to a stereotype that the working class have a corrupt family home. The arrival of the text also connotes anger and violence in the household. This is something of which our intellectual audience could question. This close-up highlights Ethan's feelings of determination and therefore could give the audience personal identity. This shot also emphasises his hooded jacket, which acts as a further representation of a reckless and violent youth within the working class, as it is used to represent gang culture. It also connotes that the character is shady and dangerous, as they are attempting to conceal themselves from society. This could intrigue our audience and cause them to want to watch the rest of the film. This is one of the examples where it could be argued that we were perhaps too stereotypical, which could have not really appealed to our sophisticated audience. The use of natural lighting in this kitchen, with a slight colour correction of a blue tinge, emphasises the conventions of our genre. This also heightens the verisimilitude. The appearance of the title at the end builds the enigma which satisfies the audience's genre, i.e. their intellectual pleasure, and also connotes the unpredictability of the situation with Ethan about to find his father.